I do want to ask you about Justin Fields, because that was a large part of our conversation last we spoke prior. I think it was either just before or after the draft that you obviously helped broadcast for the Worldwide Leader. And now we just saw what he did, albeit against the twos. I get it. In his first preseason game. I cannot think that we see that anything twitching in that direction by him against the Bills that Matt Nagy would start to have to think, based on what I'm assuming is happening, blossoming inside the walls of that building, meeting rooms and such, going in Fields' direction to start the season. What do you think of what we saw from Fields this weekend?
Well, first, I'll just go back to our conversation. If you remember, I wasn't this way with Dwayne Haskins because, it's not like, it's a Buckeye quarterback, so he's going to go to bat for him. But I was this way with Justin Fields, and it's because of what's inside his chest. This kid is as competitive as a guy as you're ever going to meet. And when you throw on top of that the skill set, and he somehow creates an edge like the world's against him. He even did it at Ohio State, and sometimes I was like, bro, you've been on top of the mountain your whole life. I mean, I appreciate you got a chip on your shoulder. I don't know where it comes from, but everyone loves you. But then leading into the draft, they didn't. He was the one quarterback who took a lot of hits, and I've never seen a guy with more of an eye of the tiger, like I'm going to show them that was genuine than Justin Fields. Leading into the draft, and he gets drafted. And I've told people who are in Chicago, I was like, congratulations, because you finally got your franchise quarterback. And I don't know. I'm not going by what he did the other day. I'm with you. It's first game. They're not showing a lot of coverage. It's exhibition football. The game changes dramatically, better than anybody, from exhibition football to real football. But there's just a lot there to like, and a lot of what was being said about him, last one there, first one to leave, and all that kind of nonsense was really the furthest thing from the truth. His teammates love him, hard worker. And, like I said, until you see him in person, you don't realize how big and imposing he is, and how athletic he is as far as his ability to create. And he's got a big arm. So if he picks up the offense, I'm excited to watch the Bears, and I'm excited to see them grow around him once he eventually gets his chance, whether they give Andy the nod early or eventually at some point, obviously, they're going to hand the reins over to Justin Fields. But he's got a huge future in my mind.
Well, and also Mac Jones looks to be he looks the part, right? And in this offense, knowing how to maneuver it the way Josh McDaniels wants and protect it the way that Belichick wants. And then in terms of a fit, I cannot imagine Belichick serving anything up, coaching style, tough love style, that Mac Jones hasn't already absorbed from Nick Saban, right? I mean, that's...
and I think there's a reason that Coach Belichick continues to look closely in Tuscaloosa for players that might be able to help him out, just because it's kind of turnkey, as far as the culture. They go from one to the next. It's just an extension of what they learned while they were at Alabama with Coach Saban. Of all the quarterbacks, to me, he processes things the quickest. And I think coming out of Sark's offense, which is probably the most NFL-friendly, that was the one thing on Mac Jones. If you're going to look at him in a pair of shorts and go to the combine and compare him to some of these other guys, you're probably going to say, no, he's accurate. But when you throw him up on a board or you watch him talk about film and watch how quickly his brain sees things and how quickly he communicates that, which is right up Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, right up their alley. It would shock me if he doesn't go there and have a really, really good opportunity to have some success there. I think that's a perfect fit for him. I don't know if you could handpick the better fit for him than to go to New England and be in that offense.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.